state of Texas, motorcycle riders and their passengers are not required to wear helmets. This law results in the death of hundreds of people a year. If a mandatory law were put in place requiring the use of helmets by motorcycle riders, then valuable lives, money, and time could be saved. According to a disclaimer posted by motorcycle injury lawyer Clay Douglas and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, motorcycle crashes resulted in the death of over 4,500 people in 2010 alone. All of these people were a part of someone's family. These victims left parents and children to deal with their loss. And if these victims had been wearing a helmet, these deaths could have been avoided. On June 15, 2012, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report estimated in 2010 that helmets were effective in preventing the deaths of about 37% of motorcycle drivers and 41% for their passengers. Also in 2010, helmet use saved the lives of 1,544 motorcyclists, and an additional 709 lives might have been saved if all motorcyclists had worn their helmets. Helmets also reduce the risk of non-fatal head injuries by 69%. For states that have a universal helmet law, fewer people are less likely to ride without a helmet. States with this universal law see more riders without a helmet. With all of these accidents and deaths, many families are left to deal with the financial burden these victims leave behind. I will now explain just exactly what those burdens are. People killed in motorcycle accidents will most likely require a funeral and a burial plot. Family members must come up with thousands of dollars to afford these services. Survivors of motorcycle crashes must also be able to pay for expensive medical bills. On November 19, 2014, Bridge Magazine stated that non-helmeted motorcyclists had more frequently died on the scene, spent more time in the intensive care unit, required longer ventilator support, and had higher medical costs. A hospital study of 192 injured motorcyclists noted that injured helmetless riders averaged $32,700 compared with $21,300 for those wearing helmets. Texas once had a law requiring the use of helmets, but that law was lessened. Now there is only a partial law that states only riders under 21 must wear a helmet. This partial law saves about $21 million in economic costs. With the universal law in place, that figure would be estimated at $73 million in savings. I would now like to discuss the final reason mandatory helmet laws should be put in place. Besides death and money, time is also another valuable object that is wasted due to not wearing a helmet. When a crash happens, witnesses must call police and then stay at the scene to give a report. This often prevents witnesses from being with their families and getting on with daily routines. People stuck in traffic because of bodies and debris in the road are forced to miss valuable time at work and at home. First aid responders could be attending to other calls instead of having so many at the crash site of someone who had not been wearing a helmet. Medical staff at hospitals must give more time and attention to people with serious head injuries rather than those with just scrapes and bruises. The non-use of a helmet during a motorcycle crash can negatively affect the lives of so many people, such as family members, witnesses, and first aid responders. The use of a simple object could keep families alive and together, help states and individuals save money, and allow people to use their time more efficiently. Now that all of these points have been presented, we can begin to understand how the mandatory use of a motorcycle helmet can benefit everyone in Texas.